It's a little bit before 2. I was up around 11. Yesterday was a short day. I don't really want to blame it on anything except being unable to stay awake. Like, I was legitimately ready to start listening, and I hadn't been awake for that long. It's just I passed out, and then I got a good amount of sleep afterwards, too, right? So, I don't know. Maybe it's the weather, but I mean, it was just a short day, and I didn't get anything done. Um, Today needs to be a long day because I've got the MRI in the morning. Um, it's gonna need to be probably, well, we're not gonna do that anymore. But I'm gonna have to push myself. The temperatures come up, so this is why I say it was probably the weather. I remember yesterday I woke up. The reason I woke up yesterday is because the air conditioner woke me up. I would have kept sleeping otherwise, right? So maybe I could even think of it like that. It's just that I was still beat the shit from the day before, and I didn't wake up naturally, you know. So it could be. I find that, right. Well, I mean, I don't have the schedule that most people have, right? So I don't have. And I find when I do have a schedule, like I have to go to an MRI, I get very flustered and irritated very quickly, right? But most people have to be somewhere on a daily basis, right? And so they have to wake up, whether they like it or not. And I mean, I think it's very normal for people to get kind of frustrated by an alarm clock, right? So you know that feeling that you get when you haven't really slept enough, but you get woken up by the alarm clock. When you get home that day, you're gonna fall asleep, right? You're gonna go to bed early. And I guess that's kind of sort of what happened, except I didn't get woken up by an alarm clock because I had to go to work. I got woken up by an air conditioner because there's a fat ass upstairs. So um, the like I said, the temperature has come back up. I've got the heat back on, windows open, to fight the air off. I do feel I slept a little bit better today, even if it was a little bit less. Either way, I can't be falling asleep around 3 o'clock. I'm gonna have to push myself. If it means extra coffee, so be it. But if it means taking a shower in the middle of the night, which will probably no doubt be what I do, then so be it as well. But I don't know what's gonna happen when I get back. Well, actually, I know I'm gonna have to do a compost run the next day or two. It's like I'm out of space in my fridge, man. What do you want me to tell you? So it's got to get out of there. Um, I may, well, I'll check the weather. If I can put it off a couple of days so that I have a cooler walk, I'll do that too. Um, Actually, I may hit a concert on Wednesday. That's a possibility. But yeah, this week is really just about the MRI and trying to get some listening done. Today I am going to get some listening. I have nothing else to do, and I'm awake. I had a small amount to eat. I'm basically gonna get to listening right now, kind of thing. And I'm actually kind of pissed at myself. I've said this to myself so many times. I've pissed at I'm pissing away these days. I should be doing something more productive. And this was always my excuse. I always said, yeah, I live on disability, but I don't sit around in my underwear and do nothing. I am actually, for the first time in my life, sitting around in my underwear and not doing anything. And I may be being a little bit hard on myself because there have been, I have been tired, and the temperature in here has not been good, but still, I should be more productive. I need to, this batch of weather, I should be over this hump soon. Like I say, I don't expect the guy upstairs to live very much longer. Maybe, hopefully, that by this time next year, we'll be in a better situation with the air. If not, maybe it'll be another year. But either way, like the fall months should be a lot more productive than the summer, just because I should be able to turn the heat down a little bit without freezing myself out. Hopefully that's yeah. So it's probably only a few more days where I've got to fight the air off. And I should. it was supposed to be the summer that was productive. And in fact, I did get a lot done at the beginning a lot of bureaucracy done. I just wish I was moving faster, right? But you know what? Even if I would probably always wish I was moving faster. I don't know if I should be angry at myself or not. I know that I'm not getting anything done talking to the wall here, so let's get on with it. So I was talking about Jim Foley, who was the reporter that was beheaded by ISIS. What's the deal with Jim Foley? Well, I think it's widely understood that the video was faked. A lot of people are suggesting that Jim Foley a lot of people are suggesting that it was just kind of some kind of like fear porn or something designed to scare people. I think that that's probably missing the broader point. Might be something mildly to it. I think that the more important question to ask is not whether the video was real or not, or whether Jim Foley is still alive or not, but what is it that Jim Foley knew? Because when I look at the situation, what that tells me is that while his death may have been used for some, propagandistic purposes, the main point of his death was that he was about to blow the lid on something, that he knew something. And he's dead because we're not supposed to know what he was going to tell us. I don't know what he was going to tell us. That's why they killed him. It's about 12:30 at night, and I have got a little bit of listening, and not nearly as much as I wanted, but enough to get kind of an initial feel about these phones through the laptop speakers. I just want to point something out immediately. When I first started listening to it, it really sounded, it sounded overly compressed. And I'm thinking, that shouldn't be through those phones, right? If it ends up sounding that way through the mid-range phones, but not through the cheap phones, the cheap phones shouldn't have that problem. So I'm thinking, well, am I just not getting enough volume? And I started playing it, and I realized that I had the replay gain on. That's something. The replay, it's kind of like a limiter, right? And so when I say it sounded kind of compressed, it makes sense. So I turned that off, and I've got the dynamics back again, and it sounds a lot better. I would suggest to you that unless you're listening to like really overly produced, like major label recordings, you should turn your replay gain off. Like even a high-end indie recording, you want to turn it off. Anything with any kinds of dips. See, I listen to a lot of post-rock, I listen to a lot of classical music, I listen to a lot of techno as well. And in all those genres, the replay gain would be a terrible idea. The replay gain would be a good idea if it's like corporate emo, or I suppose most hip hop would probably be fine. I don't really know enough about hip hop to say, but country certainly would work for replay gain. But like any kind of music that has any kind of dynamics, it's just gonna kill it. It's the same basic. I talked a little bit about loudness wars. It's the same basic problem, right? And then when you think about it for a second, if you're taking something that's been fucked in the studio, and then you're compressing it through MP3, and then you're listening through it through replay gain, it's gonna sound like shit. Okay. So I would really highly advise you turn that off. I don't know how. I'm pretty sure I had that turned off like a long time ago. Maybe I reinstalled the software or something. I don't know. But or I may have restarted the computer. Yeah, that's probably what happened. What probably happened was I crashed the machine. Um, but you definitely please turn that off if you can get around to it. Especially if you're looking to listen to my music. Really, like I say, anything with any kind of dynamics. But my own music, like it really killed it. It squished the fuck out of it, and it sounded like I was listening to it through a tin can, a tin can with a piece of cardboard in between. It was really not good at all. So please make that adjustment. I'm gonna do some more listening for the rest of the night. I, you know, if I need to snort some coffee, I'm not gonna snort the coffee. Um, I don't do that. But if I gotta, I don't know, start chugging it or what, so be it. Be up listening for a few hours, take a shower, and then head to the MRI. MRI number 2 to check the inside of my ear. Yeah, I don't know what it's gonna be like either. We'll find out. Okay, so it's about 5:45, and I'm ready to go. Up all night. I got a little bit of listening done. Not too much more. The bass is starting to. The bass is better. There's no question. The bass is better. It's still like I'm still listening to MP3s, but I can definitely tell that I'm getting a better bass response out of the laptop than I am out of the MP3 player. Nonetheless, I'm going to be there on time today. That's again unusual. It indicates that I'm taking this seriously. Yeah, let's put it that way. Because I'm never on time for anything. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and get going. So just had I'm obviously not trying very hard right now. Like I'm going. It's 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'm going to get an MRI at a doctor's office. That's not exactly a cause to put on my favorite clothes kind of thing. But that's kind of. I'm not trying very hard right now. You tell me my gender. What's my gender? Right? And that's that's when you win the battle, right? When you get to this point. And I think that this is probably the first time that I kind of feel like I'm over this hump, right? Because here's the truth: you can take anybody and you can put them in a uniform, you can douse them in makeup, you can do that, and anybody can switch genders in any way, right? You could take some bodybuilder champion and just lather him in, makeup, and he'll come out looking okay, right? He'll come out being a sexy girl at the end. Or you can do the opposite, right? You can take some swimsuit model and put her in give her shoulder pads and make her look really tough, and she'll come out looking like a sexy guy, right? You can do that, but that's not real, right? That's acting. That's like getting dressed up to go to the. It's going through a theater production, right? And that's not living, right? That's being a transvestite, right? And this kind of difference between being a transvestite and being transgendered, between putting on a costume and playing a gender and actually living one, right? It's the difference, right? So to me, this is kind of a key. This is kind of key, and it's only been the last little bit that I've really kind of felt confident enough. Because, like I say, I don't. To me, the transition is complete when I can just put on a white T-shirt and a pair of jeans and go out and everybody knows I'm a girl. That's that's when this is done. That's when we can move on, kind of thing, right? And it's been, like I say, I should have near the beginning of this vlog cycle. Well, actually, it was a few months in. I boosted my hormones. I should have done that a long time ago. And now that I see the effects, it's really obvious that I should have done it a long time ago, right? But I mean, I wasn't getting the instruction I needed. I finally am now, and I feel like I'm finally over that hump, and it's good. It's a good thing to feel. right? Are we gonna do more FaceTime? Let's remember the reason we didn't do FaceTime was really just because I was naked all the time. The reason we're doing FaceTime right now is because I'm wearing clothes because I'm going out somewhere. The temperature, it's going to be hot this week. It's going to come down a little bit next week. It might be enough next week that we can kind of get over that hump kind of thing. We'll find out. I mean, I'm not going to put clothes on just to talk to you guys, right? I'm not going to do it. We can talk to the wall, and I'll stay naked. I'm sorry, but I mean, if I'm wearing clothes anyways, then I can walk over to the mirror. It might not be for a few more days still, but it's coming, and it'll be until it gets hot again, I guess. Anyways, I'm not late, but if I don't go, I'll be late. So let's go. Well, it's 5:45, and it's still the morning. It's still dark out, man. Pitch black. I gotta be there by 6:20. I think it's 5:45. You know what? I didn't check. 5:45, 10 to 6, something like that. It's not yet 6. I can be sure of that. I think I've mentioned this a few times. If this was Ottawa, I'm in the same time zone as I grew up in. So Ottawa and Windsor are both Eastern time zones, but they're at different parts in the time zone, right? It's about a 7-hour drive, just to put that in context, right? So, Ottawa's still got a ways to go before you get to the end of the Eastern time zone. It's not like as far as Boston, right? But Windsor, Windsor, Detroit here is pretty much at the very end, right? So if I drive like an hour west of here, I'm in the central time zone, which means that it's an hour behind, right? The difference between what you're experiencing is not that much different, but this is what it's like, not at 6 o'clock in the morning, but at 5 o'clock in the morning. And it's a little bit more what I'm used to, right? And just because the difference is so big, I'm not used to the sun coming up at 6. I'm used to the sun coming up at... I am used to the sun coming up at 6. I'm not used to the sun coming up at 7, which is about when it comes up at this time of year here. I just remember back to, when I was a kid, I would go to school around this time of day. And it was dark in December. In January, it was dark. In September, I actually think today is the first day of school for a lot of people. To think that it's dark on the first day of school like this at 6 o'clock in the morning, that's a foreign thing to me. What is this pile of stuff here? That's the thing about the dark, is you don't know if it's a pile of hay or it's a bear or what, right? No, it's the truth. When I get up to the main road here, I'll be a little bit more confident, but I mean, it's kind of creepy still. Yeah, I don't know, because I'm not really acclimatized yet to it. I don't really know when the sun's gonna come up yet, right? Like I say, to me this feels like 5 o'clock in the morning. This doesn't feel like 6, it feels like 5. And it pretty much is a solid hour. And if you did the math, you might find out it's 47 minutes or something, but it's pretty close to the hour. It's just, see, the flip side of it is it means that the sun's up an hour later, right? So Whereas I'm used to the sun going down near the beginning of the school year. You know, it's like 6:37. The sun's still up here at like 9. Well, I'm a little bit further south too, right? So it's like you get like the kind of nights that I'm only used to, like at the top of the summer, right? Anyways, I'm on the main road here, so I'm gonna put this away and put my phones on, but yeah, like I mean, 6 o'clock in the morning to me is not night. 6 o'clock in the morning to me is the day. It's the morning. It's just at the corner of the time zone here. It doesn't. There was actually a period where, like when I first moved down here, I was living on Central Time. Because I couldn't deal with it. I was just like, it didn't like, I mean, like nothing really mattered too much. I didn't have any appointments or anything. So I mean, you know, like what time I woke up at, you know, it was just helping me to adjust to it, right? I mean, if I was on Central Time, it would be a lot more normal to me. Just the time of day the sun comes up, the time of day the sun comes down. That little dog just scared me. Yeah. So, put this away and put the phones on. It's actually an absolutely beautiful morning to go for a walk. Temperature is fairly low, around 20. So it's not too hot, but it's humid. So it feels warmer. Wonderful, beautiful. No sign of the sun though. We still have this dark lunar landscape here, which I'm a little bit apprehensive about walking up to the tracks around, because I know from watching documentaries on the coy wolf that they travel and exist around the tracks. Windsor does have an issue with coyotes. I'm actually kind of hoping that the sound here on my phones is enough to shake them off, along with the sound of me talking here. The coy wolves are bigger and more aggressive than the coyotes, but they're still essentially shy of large dogs, right? So these are the tracks right here. Let's show some people up and awake. That's not so bad. Let's get over in here. This is maybe the yeah, we got some people out here working. It's still not ever going to be my favorite thing to do, but that was a cause of least concern here. That's what, about 5 minutes more up here. I'm going to, I believe, be just on time. Let's find out. Well, it's what? It was, it's about, yeah, I'm going to guess it's around 10 after. Be there for 6:20. It's going to be, I'm surprised. I thought it was plenty early. I guess so. I guess talking in the mirror there slowed me down a lot more than I realized. Huh? I was logging. It's anyways. Yeah, it's after 6. Where's the sun? Bring the sun. These hospitals are consistently freezing. That would be so nice to get out of here. Have you ever had an MRI? It's kind of creepy. You know, you to a point where it's like, is it almost done? Is it almost done? And then when it's finally done, you really get relieved by it, right? I don't have anything to do except wait for the results. So let's get out of here. There's the sun. It's a little after 7. Just a reminder here of what actually happened there. So they did say that they did find something in my ear. It was millimeters by millimeters. And the second scan was to determine what the fuck it was. So that's what's going on there with that. About a week or so, they said. And we'll see what happens. Early morning, late summer walk. Look, everything's overgrown. Grass is overgrown. The trees are all over the place. More leaves, the more oxygen. And it's so humid out. It really is a beautiful walk, I gotta tell you. With just a little bit of sun. It's weird because the way the temperature is right now, it kind of feels more like the end of the day, the beginning of the day. It feels like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night rather than 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning. It's because it's like, it's about as warm as you can get without it being hot, and it's humid. The kind of humidity, like I say, you get at the end of the day. And the way the sun's coming, it feels like the sun's coming down. I know better, but it really is a beautiful walk, and I'm going to get back to enjoying it. So that was absolutely a wonderful walk. It's absolutely beautiful out. I don't know about the MRI, but I'm glad I took a walk. I got lucky though, because it's about to get oppressively hot today. And the clothes are coming back off. So, you know, that's how it goes. I'm not going, I checked the weather forecast, and it's going to be hot for a few days. It makes more sense for me to wait to the compost run and other things for a couple of days, sometime next week. Right now I'm kind of tired. We'll see how long I sleep for. And maybe a while. It's a long day. So, yeah, I'm gonna get some rest, and I plan on staying in and not really doing anything for a good week until the heat comes down outside, and then we'll do the things we need to do afterwards. Hope you enjoyed the FaceTime. It's gonna be it for a little bit more longer, but it'll be back soon, I promise.